Every day feels the same. I wake up, look at my fellows spinning in the bed, be awesome. Think of winning Lego Wars. What the hell? Whatever, I'll get back to brooding.
Shadow, it's me, Evil Sweepy. I've come to convince you to move to Booiz and stuff. I ain't talking about knockoff Mold King or any other random.
I'll never join the third-party crew. I'll fight with my own stock equipment.
Okay, bye.
Okay, I'll upgrade. Works every time. My power comes from lying. Lying to Sweepy's face. I've outsmarted you again, and I didn't even need thermal cutout on my side.
Welcome back to LEGO Wars and Heat G of the series. Last time out we saw another champion struggle as Agrowobber got caught on its own armour panel while Ganymede gave Scarlet Serpent an aggressive facelift. This week it's the last of our 4 series champs starting their Series 5 campaign with the first Wars winners Panic Attack returning as the 11th seeds alongside BattleBot's best lifter Whiplash seeded 14th for this series. Let's see who else will challenge our black and yellow machines.
First, from Cambrana, seeded number 11, Panic Attack.
LEGO Wars' original series winner comes into its 5th season with minimal updates to the frame and hoping their trusty forks can still do the job.
From Thousand Oaks, California, in season number 14, Whiplash.
The unofficial dog tipper of the series was a surprise omission from the specials this year and we'll hope there's no rustiness in their performances tonight.
From Alcatraz, California, Project Shadow.
With the year of Shadow soon drawing to a close, our edgy spinner will be out to channel the last of their extra attention into making the bracket.
From Oxford, Harold.
Our rookies for the heat tonight have dubiously promised to be the glassiest glass cannon to ever grace the arena, so let's see if they can steal Sriracha's disc-slinging crown.
From Yeovil, Ice Climbers.
Just drive forward, damn it. You need to get 2 hands on that steering. I managed to get off.
Much later.
Our other multi-bot for Series 5 has gained a reputation on the live scene as very hyperactive but very efficient and could cause some headaches for our control bot seeds. Let's begin tonight's action with our 11 seeds Panic Attack against Project Shadow, so take it away, Sam.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Heat G is green to go and Project Shadow gets going with that spinner at the front, looking a little bit wibbly and wobbly, but they have got a stern task against their opponents. Reigning champions of Series 1 of LEGO Wars, Panic Attack. This series seeded number 11. Oh, and a big impact there by Project Shadow. We've seen how effective that weapon can be in the side competitions. Project Shadow, of course, did very well in LEGO Wars Champions, making it to its qualifier final. Didn't make it past Orby Blade on that occasion, though. Panic Attack trying to get those lifting forks into play. Doesn't quite manage to get Project Shadow over. Project Shadow in a decent run of form after going out last time around in the play-ins to Mingo. And Panic Attack there, struggling to get the pit open, does so on the second try of asking. And Project Shadow here will be wary of that. Panic Attack's control is second to none in the arena. They are one of the very best. That's why they were able to win the first LEGO Wars series. Although these days, are they truly the darlings of the field anymore? Project Shadow with that big horizontal angled spinner. They'll be hoping to cause an upset here against the former champions Panic Attack. Of course, last time around, lost out to 23 red in the round of 32. Of course, Panic Attack still has a few bumps and scrapes from the incident it took with the heavyweight Panic Attack back in 2021, but they're not showing signs of that at the moment. They're lifting Project Shadow up, and Shadow is being proven to be far from the ultimate life form. All the coolest here. Panic Attack has got them on the very lip of the pit. Must be a Sonic Adventure 1 fan. Panic Attack trying to lever and maneuver. Great driving. Doesn't quite get Project Shadow down, but Project Shadow is stuck on the lip of the pit and almost deflects itself in from the weapon. Good driving again from Panic Attack. Project Shadow trying their best to get away. Can't do so. Panic Attack using the lifting forks once again to lever up the red and black machine. And almost in the pit. Project Shadow, they dipped a wheel. They're slipping. They're sliding. They're surely going to go down. Project Shadow, it's only a matter of time to meet their doom. Or black doom, I suppose. Panic Attack lowering the forks down, trying to use them to kind of leave a Project Shadow into the pit, maybe. Project Shadow have not been mobile for quite some time. They're being counted out. Can they get away from the pit? I don't think they can. Panic Attack is just going to leave them there. Project Shadow trying to free itself. Can they do it? No, they can't. Project Shadow beaten and eventually down the pit. Panic Attack the winners. They may not be the darlings of the field that they once were, Panic Attack, but doubt them at your peril. Project Shadow is a very, very high caliber robot, and Panic Attack made it look very, very easy in this fight, using the lifting forks brilliantly, driving superbly. Yes, they took a few knocks from Project Shadow, and Project Shadow will be dangerous throughout this competition, I'm sure, but Panic Attack with great control and style, levering Project Shadow towards the pit, leaving them cornered by the pit. Project Shadow then making a mistake and getting themselves immobilised on the lip.
A routine fight for Panic Attack to start their latest campaign strongly. Let's see if their fellow seeds can make an equally good start as they take on the Ice Climbers.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Away we go then for our 14th seeds, Whiplash, who start off their second campaign in LEGO Wars, taking on Popo and Nana, the Ice Climbers. Popo is the blue one, Nana is the red one. Now, the Ice Climbers will be trying their best to try and sort out Whiplash. And Whiplash, well, they've already lost one of the Ice Climbers. I think they've pinned themselves under the wall. They've gone full David and driven themselves at the wall and got themselves pinned there. They've managed to get away now, though, unlike David. The Ice Climbers swinging their pickaxes around, trying to grapple hold of Whiplash, and Whiplash goes for that pit button. They're looking pretty imperious, though, so far. The seeding machine, very effective as well. Of course, they lost out to Pegasus last time around in LEGO Wars. They'll be hoping to do a little bit better this time around, try and go a little bit further. Whiplash, of course, driven in real life, the heavyweight, by unofficial fourth host of the Robocast, Matt Vasquez. Even though I've retired. Yes, it's very sad, I know. Whiplash in underneath the Ice Climbers once again. And Popo almost down the pit. Manages to get away, though. Turned over by Whiplash, though, and down the pit this time, though. Great driving by Whiplash. Maybe it is Matty Vasquez at the controls, who knows? And one of the Ice Climbers now right underneath the back of Whiplash. And can they push Whiplash down the pit? They're so close. Nana has almost got the 14 seats down. Can they get it down? It's so, so close. It's a brilliant tug of war between Whiplash and Nana. Can it get it down? No, Whiplash gets the grip it requires to get away, and I'm sure the Whiplash team will be very, very happy they were able to get away from the pit there. They almost got embarrassed by one of the Ice Climbers, Nana, and so far they've been a pretty decent little rookie robot in the arena. Nana, though, is now caught by the pit. They need to be careful not to drive straight down like that. That was rookie art driving, wasn't it? Whiplash wins, despite their best efforts to lose it at the end. Whiplash is the winner. Experience and know-how was the order of the day in this fight for me. Whiplash was the one with all the experience in the arena, turning over Popo while Nana was stuck in the arena wall, although Nana was able to free itself and smack Whiplash around the back with its pick. Whiplash turning Popo over and pushing it down the pit. That was brilliant driving from them. Nana almost getting the upset of the century on the 14th seed, pushing them down the pit, but it cost them as they themselves drove down the pit under no effort from Whiplash.
It took a while, but Whiplash finally put the hyperactive Ice Climbers to bed to join Panic at the top, going into fight through the night between the former champs and the rookies Harold.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Harold gets its debut in LEGO Wars' main competition underway against the former champion. You love to see it. And Harold, with that big spinner, has been described as the glassiest of glass cannons for this series. Panic Attack, of course, with a win under its belt already tonight. They beat Project Shadow via getting them stuck on the lip of the pit. Harold will be hoping to get their campaign off and underway with a good start against the former champions. We know how powerful that spinner can be, and we have seen Panic Attack's face partially ripped away. Brilliant control there from Harold. Poor driving from Panic Attack, getting stuck in and clattering that spinning wheel at the front, which has caused enormous damage to the former champions. Panic Attack will be a lot more cautious now when it comes to trying to handle that weapon and using the lifting forks very well to stop that weapon there. Side on attack based off of Zephyrus, the beetle weight, of course. Harold and Pitburn activated kind of by Panic Attack. It's kind of down. We'll go with it. It's a down enough to eliminate one of these two, certainly. Harold trying to get that weapon into play again. We saw the destructive capability it's got on the front of Panic Attack. Will it continue to cause damage in this fight against the former champions? The 11th seeds for this series, Panic Attack. They'll be hoping for better things than we've seen so far. Harold trying to get back in on the attack again and get to the side. Doesn't quite get the attack off. Panic Attack, meanwhile, gets to the side of Harold, but Harold coercing it into that corner, and Panic Attack getting stuck between the spikes, and the weapon of Harold has now sustained more damage, although Harold's weapon is starting to shed pieces all over the arena floor and is now a little bit unstable, a little bit off balance, and is shaking itself. Look at that. In the arena, that's not what we want to have happen to your spinner. Have pieces break off and shake your own robot apart. That's not what you want. Panic Attack doing everything they can so far to impress the judges, who of course will be watching this should it go to time. We are quite a way into the fight. Panic Attack trying to get round to the back now of Harold. Harold still in this pretty happily, I think. Weapon effectiveness so far, who would you say is on top? Control, I'd say certainly Panic Attack, although they have been pretty well controlled themselves. Harold. Aggression? I don't know. Hard to tell. Panic Attack, I think, will surely just be hoping just to push them down the pit and be done with it. Although, look at Panic Attack, it has taken a lot of damage. It is shaking itself loose as well, whilst pushing Harold around. Harold's weapon is still up to speed, and good impact there, and off comes the Harold disc! And that could be crucial with the judges later on. Panic Attack grappling now with Harold. We are going to go to time, I think. Only a few seconds remain. Can Panic Attack maybe push Harold down the pit? Well, they're not going to be able to. 2 seconds, 1 second, and it is all over. The judges will have to decide between Harold and Panic Attack. A stern challenge then for former champions Panic Attack, as Harold caused enormous damage early on, ripping the face off of the 11th seed, although Panic Attack were able to kind of learn from that and use the arena better to get the weapon away from the front. Panic Attack was able to drive around to the sides quite a lot, and as Harold's weapon kind of disintegrated, its effectiveness wore down, leading to a point at the end where the weapon completely came off with that attack there.
And the winner, by split decision, is Harold. Bit of a controversial one there from the judges, as Harold takes the JD. Now let's see if Project Shadow can get back into gear with that down 4 fight against Whiplash. This isn't the first confrontation between these two after they fought in the playoffs from the Rookies Cup, where Whiplash lifted the weapon off of Shadow. With the edgy machine a much more rounded bot this year, let's see if they can take revenge.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Away we go then for fight number 4 of the night. Our seeded machine, Whiplash, number 14 seeds, and Project Shadow unseeded, of course. So far, perfect start for Whiplash and a 0 point start for Project Shadow. Meanwhile, look at that beautiful, majestic man in the background. He looks so whimsical. He's smiling as well. He's loving it. Anyway, Project Shadow and Whiplash in the arena together. Whiplash lifting Project Shadow off the floor. Disc is spinning so far for Project Shadow. They'll be hoping to bring that into play against Whiplash. Whiplash with a good start here, lifting Project Shadow off the floor, keeping it pinned on the Whiplash chassis. And so far, Whiplash looking pretty good for another victory, although there is a long way to go in this fight. Yet Project Shadow's weapon hasn't really come into play yet. Whiplash's lifter has done several times, doing very well so far. They're trying to get round the back of Project Shadow and out of harm's reach of that big spinning weapon, although that's poor from Whiplash. Good turn of speed there from Project Shadow, trying to get round the back. And a good impact again there. Once again, Project Shadow. It's given me a little bit of, like, Wild Thing from Series 5 of Robot Wars. That's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit. Oh, and there goes the wheel off of Whiplash at the rear, ripped away by Project Shadow. That is good key damage there from the ultimate life form. In it comes again, big impact on the wheel of Whiplash. Doesn't come off this time though. Whiplash lifting arm, up and down it goes. Something came flying off. I think it was the forks, look, on the Whiplash lifter. That will be crucial in their hopes of trying to get in underneath and try and turn Project Shadow upside down. Project Shadow back into the action now, and all of a sudden the fight has turned, because Whiplash were looking very good at the start of this fight. Not so much now. Project Shadow, maybe they are the ultimate life form after all. Not the prototype, of course. They've been injected with Black Doom's blood now, and suddenly they're looking pretty good. On a side note, I hope everyone enjoyed the third Sonic movie. Obviously, Shadow was a key part in that. In this, the very last knockings of the Year of Shadow. Not much left of 2024, and it will no longer be the Year of Shadow going on after this. But at the moment, the Year of Shadow is looking pretty good. Whiplash in trouble. Not looking pretty happy. They look all bent and buckled. Look, the wheel at the front as well looks twisted as well. Doesn't look like it's running, well, certainly flat on the floor. A little bit of camber maybe on the Whiplash wheel, and that's why ripped away. And Project Shadow now has Whiplash on the ropes. Project Shadow looking pretty good for a victory. Their first victory of the night. Whiplash in real trouble. They're still technically mobile, so they're in the fight. They lost a third wheel. Whiplash is going to take it to tie there. They're not going to get counted out, which is a remarkable performance when you consider that. But Whiplash here, I don't see how they're going to win the decision with one wheel on their wagon. Project Shadow pulled them apart like an insect. What a win this is going to be for Project Shadow. I say a win for Project Shadow because despite the early domination that Whiplash shown, surely the damage is going to accrue for too much, right? Whiplash was grabbing hold of Project Shadow throughout the fight at the start and levering it around, but as soon as the wheels started coming off Whiplash's challenge, the wheels literally came off their challenge. There was damage accrued on all corners of Whiplash, and yes, there were, moments when Whiplash was able to fight back, but as soon as the second wheel went here, surely that's where the fight ended as a contest.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Project Shadow. A wheel plucking good time there for Shadow as they get some points on the board. Ice Climbers now sit bottom of the table going into our next fight against Harold in an all red and blue affair.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Harold then, after recovering from a controversial win against Panic Attack, maybe. I mean, I certainly didn't think that they'd won the fight when I first watched it, but hey, I'm not a judge. The Ice Climbers bringing their picks down on Harold, the kind of very small frame that they've got Harold. Don't forget, the Ice Climbers lost their first fight to seeded Whiplash. Harold have only had one fight so far, as have the Ice Climbers. This is both of their second fights. At the moment, Popo doing a decent job of pushing Harold into the wall, and there goes, the weapon of Harold, crucially, but also most of Nana's face has been ripped away as well, but that is the more pressing moment there. The weapon of Harold has come off once again, and that could be crucial in this fight. There's lots of red and blues in the arena, but so far it's the Ice Climbers looking pretty good. Up and over goes Nana, but can right itself using the pickaxe. Already lost most of its face and one of its forks at the front. Popo getting in there with its own hammer, trying to cause damage to Harold. Harold now without a weapon. What can it do without that weapon? That's the main issue with Harold. It's very much a glass cannon. If it hits you, you're in trouble, but if they lose the weapon, they are in massive, massive trouble. And now, what can they do to kind of turn the tide of the fight where they're going for the pit button? Doesn't get it. Now it goes. Pit is activated. Harold right to the lip of the pit. The Ice Climbers are going to try their best. Trying their best, trying to push Harold down the pit. It may be an earthquake happening in Norfolk, but as things stand, Harold just surviving. Popo and Nana trying to get their first win in LEGO Wars. The Ice Climbers really trying their best. Harold being forced back towards the pit. That fork of Popo in underneath the wheel, still of Harold. And Harold can't quite be pitted by the ice climbers. They get away with it, but they're still stuck in between the pit and the arena wall. That wheel is now hovering over the pit. Sean is going to go down. Nano trying to go down as well. Popo's going to drag within. Harold touches the pit bottom. That is the end of the fight. There goes Harold. The ice climbers have survived somehow. Well, no controversy this time in this fight involving Harold. The ice climbers looking pretty good early on, despite the damage taken not only by Popo, but also Nana here ripping its face off, but in the process using its face to take off the fist, or in this case disc, of Harold. Without a weapon, Harold is mostly useless really in the arena, and subsequently were pitted by the ice climbers.
Well, that didn't exactly go as expected, did it? Ice climbers take the hits from the fragile Harold to move up to third place. They may move further up depending on the outcome of our next bout as they take on the former champs Panic Attack.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Ice climbers and Panic Attack immediately zipping across the arena are the ice climbers. Nana in underneath. Panic Attack bringing the pick down. Panic Attack still licking their wounds after their loss to Harold. Of course, the ice climbers double duty back-to-back fights after their victory over Harold. Of course, Harold ending up down the pit in their fight. Panic Attack being hit and hit over and over again by, well, at least one of the ice climbers at any one time, be it Popo or Nana. Nana in the red, Popo in the blue. Down comes the swinging pick again. Up and over there goes the blue Popo. Nana trying to right their teammate. Back in on the attack. On Panic Attack they go. Up and over goes Popo. Self-rights using the pick. Good pushing here though by Nana. And now Panic Attack once again is stopped and still. And they're not moving at their happiest, are they, the former champions? The very first LEGO Wars champions, Panic Attack. They are struggling here to deal with the ice climbers. And the ice climbers are causing damage to the lid look of Panic Attack. It is bowing under the pressure of the pick of Nana. If they can work together here, the ice climbers, they are a formidable duo in the arena. They're both very, very nippy, hard to control, and Panic Attack is struggling to deal with them right now, and that lid is definitely caving in. The ice climbers picks, they may seem a little bit, for show, a little bit maybe, suspect, but they are effective when they can just chain those hits together like that, and the lid of Panic Attack is starting to cave away here. The ice climbers will be very, very happy with this. The ice climbers smacking away, and poor old Panic Attack here, the former champions, will be hoping that they can turn this fight around, because so far, look at this, the punishment they're taking is severe. The ice climbers come to blows in the centre of the arena, but quickly move away from one another. They're taking each other on now. They're bored of fighting the former champion. Well, it's confidence to see from the rookies, but Panic Attack here is not at its best. Panic Attack, they need to recover and quickly here, because so far I would say the ice climbers are on top, and Panic Attack not looking at their best could put themselves in danger later on. Of course, they only have one fight left after this one, and of course that is against the other seed of the heat, Whiplash, and they are no slouches at all. The ice climbers regroup, but Panic Attack trying to get those forks into play, but can't really do it, because I think there's parts of the lid that's been shattered away and is kind of blocking the forks from coming back down into play. And this is a real good, solid performance from the ice climbers. They are earning their stripes and then some in this fight, because Panic Attack does not know what's hit them. And the former champions here need to get back into the action, and quickly. Panic Attack comes in again with the forks and now pins Popo against the wall, but it's just flailing away at Panic Attack, and Nana gets round the back. Panic Attack in all kinds of danger here. And it is going to go to time between these two. Panic Attack in all sorts of trouble, and they need to turn this fight around and quickly, but I don't think they're going to be able to do so. The ice climbers are on the verge of a very, very famous victory, but we'll have to wait for the judge's decision to confirm it. What a fight!
Enough.
Key factor in this fight for me, the speed and agility of the ice climbers made it so that Panic Attack were unable to gain a real foothold in the fight. And the ice climbers' chaotic nature, well, was brilliant. They kept hammering away at Panic Attack until the lid started to cave in all around the former champions, and Panic Attack never had a chance to kind of execute its own strategy of just controlling the fight and using its lifting forks to great effect. The ice climbers were superb.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Ice Climbers. That troublesome duo sure are making a name for themselves tonight as they destroy Panic Attack's top plate to go first after 6 fights. Meanwhile, Whiplash had enough time to collect their wheels and prepare for some more heavy hits, this time from Harold.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Weapon reattached for Harold, and we're off and underway. Whiplash thinks about the early box rush, thinks better of it, goes round the back of Harold this time. Of course, we've seen that weapon cause some absolute devastation and carnage to both Panic Attack and the Ice Climbers, although in both fights it has come off as well. So we'll wait to see if that issue has been rectified. Well, the issue of Whiplash's wheels has not been rectified. Look at that. For the second time tonight, a Whiplash wheel has been ripped asunder by a spinner. In the first fight, it was against Project Shadow. In this fight, well, there goes the spinner. The lifter of Whiplash fires, and off comes the spinner of Harold. Harold, back into the action then, lads. Come on, what are you going to do now? Without that weapon, you've not got a lot going for you, I'll be honest. Good lift there from Whiplash. Pushing Harold into the pit button, doesn't get the pit button activated. Good lift by Whiplash, though. Lifts it on its top and leaving it there. Superb driving by Whiplash to put Harold pinned against the arena wall using its own face to immobilise it, and I think that is that. And there is the signature lifting and flapping of the Whiplash lifter, and that is the end of Harold's, well, fight, I think. Damage was caused
6.
to both robots, but Whiplash is the worthy winner. Well, I imagine there was a little bit of heart-in-mouth stuff for Whiplash when they saw their wheel fly off for the second fight in a row, but it didn't bother them too much. Off came the Harold weapon for the third fight in a row, and good pin and immobilisation from Whiplash to secure all 3 points.
Harold's attempts to block the pit button end with them on their face as Whiplash retakes first place, putting Panic Attack in peril going into their final fight later on. For now though, it's more Ice Climbers fun against last place Project Shadow. Wonder if they need a pep talk to get back in the game.
Hey, Shadow, it's me. I love you. I love spending time with you.
Stop!
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Project Shadow and the Ice Climbers wheeling off to a brilliant start there from the Ice Climbers, but the Ice Climbers did secure an amazing victory, of course, against Panic Attack. 2 wins in a row for Ice Climbers. Their last fight of the night. Project Shadow has another one after this one. And Project Shadow will be hoping that they can prove once again, unequivocally, that they are the ultimate life form against the Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers zipping around the arena quite nicely as well, but thus far, not able to cause the kind of same issues to Project Shadow as they were able to cause to Panic Attack. In goes the Ice Climbers once again, over goes Nana. Has been shredded a little bit at the front there. Project Shadow using that spinning disc very well. Over goes Nana again, trying to right itself. Does so. Down comes the hammers once again of the Ice Climbers. Popo round the back. Escapes now. No forks on the front of Nana. That could cause some wheeling issues for the Ice Climbers. Pit button activated. Down goes the pit. Nana needs to be careful not to go in the screws, and one of the wheels of Nana is coming off slowly but surely. It's going, it's going, it's going. Oh, it's holding on for dear life, and there it goes. So down to one-wheel drive now is Nana. Popo firing its hammer at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but is it going to be enough to cause the damage they require to stop Project Shadow in its pursuit of victory here? Because Project Shadow are on an absolute tear at the moment. They did a brilliant job in the last fight against Whiplash to get the win, systematically taking them apart, and they're doing the same thing here with the Ice Climbers. And poor old Popo and Nana do not know what's hit them, although credit to Nana, is still in the fight with one wheel on its wagon and brilliantly crab walking across the arena. Still in the action, of course, as well as Popo, the blue Ice Climber. Down comes the hammer once again. It's lost its hood though. And can the Ice Climbers pull off yet another remarkable victory here? They've won 2 fights back to back. Could they possibly win a third? It would basically put them through to the bracket if so. Popo and Nana will be hoping that they can cling on for victory against Project Shadow. I feel like I'm playing Super Smash Bros. Or something with Shadow and the Ice Climbers fighting each other. This is great. I love it. As always, the brilliant designs in LEGO Wars. Ice Climbers external robot Project Shadow, built by channel host David, I believe. Brilliant stuff in the arena, lots of colour, lots of imagination. I'm just going to smash them all up, it's great. Project Shadow once again spinning that weapon up to speed, trying to get back into the action, although they have slowed down significantly. I wonder if they're suffering maybe some thermal cutout issues. The ice climbers still zipping around beautifully, as they're wont to do. They took Panic Attack to a surprise JD, and of course win. Wasn't really a surprise, was it? They dominated that fight. Project Shadow, meanwhile, dominated the early stages, are slowing down definitely now, and the Ice Climbers are coming back into the fight, and we are down to our last 10 seconds, and it's a late rally from the Ice Climbers here, which could be crucial with the judges. This will be the last thing they remember seeing. We're going to go to time here between Project Shadow and the Ice Climbers, and it's a brilliant fight as we go to the judges. The old adage of it being a fight of two halves comes to mind here, with Project Shadow starting the stronger of the two, using that big disc at the front to cause lots of damage to both of the Ice Climbers, particularly Nana, who of course lost a wheel on one side, and the forks at the front as well, crucially offsetting the balance. But Popo kept in the fight very well, using his hammer to great effect, and even Nana was able to keep in the fight with one wheel as well. And as the fight wore on, Project Shadow seemed to slow down quite a lot. Could be a lot closer than it may first have appeared.
And the winner by split decision is Project Shadow. The damage drive on Nana was the difference in the end, as Project Shadow get themselves back into contention heading into the penultimate fight. Harold meanwhile has the slimmest chances of a play-in berth, but will need to KO the Hedgehog to keep their hopes alive.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Our penultimate fight of the night then. Harold and Project Shadow. Both of these two need something from this fight. The two big spinners will come together in the centre of the arena shortly. Oh, and there goes the Harold spinner. Once again, Project Shadow surely now have an open net just to secure themselves a win that should take them back into contention to escape the heat this time. They were struggling early on, but two JD wins back to back and put them in a position now where if they beat Harold, they should qualify quite happily. And Harold, well, they need a miracle, don't they? If they win the fight via knockout, there's a slim chance they get through, but at the moment, Project Shadow, the one in the ascendancy with the weapon still intact. Harold does not have the weapon at all, and Project Shadow hits the pit button, and almost Harold getting caught out by the pit button, but Project Shadow will be very, very happy with that. The ultimate life form, so they say. Looking pretty good at the moment for a place in our bracket at the end of the series, but they still have to beat Harold, of course, to get there, to guarantee their spot in said bracket. Harold pushed into the corner by Project Shadow. And Shadow, at the moment, homing in on a pretty decent victory. Oh, but Harold has caught themselves out. Oh, and they got caught on the lip of the pit, and they are subsequently down the pit. Project Shadow the winner. And hit one more time for good measure. Well done, Shadow, you won. Well, the fight really ended as a contest there, didn't it? When the weapon of Harold did what it's done all night and just popped off its mounting, and Project Shadow, pretty much a by-the-numbers victory. They hit the pit button, and Harold got snagged on the pit, and subsequently went down.
While it wasn't a standout display, Shadow buries Harold in the pit and confirms their place in the bracket at the same time. All that's left now is for our seeds to face off against one another, and the pressure is on Panic Attack to deliver a victory to make the bracket, but Whiplash has never been KO'd in LEGO Wars, so let's see how it'll end tonight.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Our two seeds then will close out the heat. Panic Attack and Whiplash seeded 11 and 14 respectively. Two mid-card robots, I would say, in terms of the field these days, although Panic Attack, of course, from the days of yore, former LEGO Wars champion, of course, they know going into this fight they need to win, otherwise they will lose on countback to the Ice Climbers. Doesn't really matter how they win, JD or knockout, they will win the heat regardless if they win the fight. If they don't win the fight, they are eliminated. It is that simple. Whiplash already through, and Whiplash already have Panic Attack on their side. Can they turn them over? No. And Panic Attack will be relieved that that didn't happen, because they have no way of getting back on their wheels if they do get turned over. And Panic Attack now pushing back in on Whiplash. This is a good start from Whiplash, the 14th seed. Panic Attack trying to push them down the pit. Whiplash gets away. A rookie last year, Whiplash did a very good job making its way through the competition. Made it all the way to the round of 16 last time around. Lost to Pegasus there, and they're on course here to do an equally stellar job of making it through to the bracket once again. They already are through. Panic Attack need to win this fight, of course, they know that. Whiplash struggling maybe a little bit for drive initially here. Panic Attack trying to sneak around the back, doesn't get it. Trying to get those forks in underneath. Does so now, trying to lift Whiplash up. Two very similar colour schemes on these two robots. And Panic Attack getting a good lift in there, and Whiplash doesn't quite get the purchase required though from the lifting forks. Whiplash struggling maybe a little bit for drive. Gets away now though. Whiplash and Panic Attack go face to face once again. The Whiplash lifter in underneath for a second, doesn't get a chance to fire it and turn Panic Attack over. Now does in underneath Panic Attack. Panic Attack lifting up the forks, trying to get away from Whiplash. They've been pinned into the wall by Whiplash, and Whiplash getting a good lift in on the former champions. Panic Attack, who have had a pretty rough time of things in this heat, has to be said. Losing to Harold via the judges. Losing to the Ice Climbers via the judges. Of course, beat Project Shadow via a knockout. They'll be very happy with that, but they know here Whiplash is a very stiff opponent to try and take on. Good lift there by Panic Attack in underneath the front of Whiplash. So far, even Stevens between the two. And Panic Attack will be still slightly nervous that they haven't got the points on the board. They'll be hoping for a nice clean knockout when Whiplash lifting Panic Attack up once again. Doesn't quite get the same potency of lift that they did at the start of the fight where they almost tipped Panic Attack over. Panic Attack round to the side of Whiplash once again, using the lifting forks to get in underneath Whiplash and leaving them up. They're trying their best to get them over, not managing to do so here. The two seeds evenly matched, tentative between the two. We are running close to the end of the fight, and there you go, we are going to go to time here between Whiplash and Panic Attack. And their fate, Panic Attack, is in the hands of the judges as we go to a full 3 minutes between Whiplash and Panic Attack. The two seeds will go to the judges after that tentative but tactical fight. Well, it wasn't a thriller between these two, but it certainly was tactical and tense. Whiplash with the initial aggressive start, trying to lift Panic Attack up and over. Panic Attack did respond quite well, getting a good few shoves in and trying to get the lifting forks into play, but not really at their most effective. Panic Attack. Whiplash were able to lift up Panic Attack a few more times throughout the fight, but lacked the potency that they did at the start of the fight. I wonder if Panic Attack have done enough to impress the judges and that they deserve their place in the bracket.
And the winner by unanimous decision is Whiplash. And so it's Whiplash beating the Thermal Gremlins to retake the top spot at the very end. It's been a fascinating night of action in the arena as Whiplash won their heat for the second year in succession, while Panic may feel a little hard done by the judges and are set to give me a headache come the end of the heats, whether it'll be themselves or AggroWobber taking the other wildcard spot with Tantrum. That's all from us tonight, but join us next time as we enter the second half of our heats with the 12th and 13th seeds Quantum and Bricker Brother. For now, I have been your host David of Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one.
David, yours is recording. I don't know if you've cycled it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's recording.
Okay, let's do this thing. Oh. You're alright. Oh, the sharp edge has protected you.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad.
actually did. Oh. Still hurt though.
So we'll give you a second to recover.
No, I need to
If I bleed out and die in the arena.
Yeah, it's just like a trickle of blood comes and It's ending the drop zone. Why is it red?
This series of Black was dedicated to in memoir.
In memoriam.
Right,
I'll use that Valentine Today card as your memoriam.
Your head is right underneath
I
it
know.
again. Get out of there, boy.